Ha! We're in! Oh, so I got something in my eye. I got this. Here we go. Spawning. You know what's on my mind already, don't you? Spawning in
The
the
wheels are
top right
turning.
position. Spawning in the top right position on 2000 atmospheres. It is your Russian
What?
Protoss player.
What?
Have I got the wrong art?
That's the wrong art, mate. You
Oh,
looked it up on Wikipedia. Oh my god.
This is what you guys told me. This is like your secret.
Polish.
He's Polish, isn't he?
He's Polish.
Polish. Okay, I feel bad now because I didn't know what that team was. Gave me a Polish Protoss player for Genesis game. It is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the only Zerg player remaining in this entire tournament. Representing himself, it is threepoint.
Indeed. Fun fact: threepoint. He actually streams on Twitch quite a bit. High level Zerg player. He derived his name from when you score a 3-pointer in basketball. Yes. So,
yeah. He's a bit of an NBA fan, maybe.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, NBA is pretty. In some Asian countries, it's quite big. Taiwan also is quite large on the NBA.
Yeah, Japan as well.
Yeah, Japan has a little baseball thing going on too, don't they?
Yeah, they were very Americanized after certain events happened.
Okay, Meanwhile,
oh my God, Veiling Nest, let's go!
Got a Veiling Nest on the way. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know ArT he scattered the pool first.
Yes.
You'd assume a player whose caliber would scout that link speed is started. It's not something completely crazy like a layer first. But the Bailey Nest is an extra layer on top, isn't it, Light?
Yeah, exactly. Like, because of ArT is being punished right now, he is gonna try and scout, and will he catch the tail? And he does see some lings moving out, but he only sees 2. But he does confirm that there is no third hatchery, which is not gonna lie a little bit sus. And he sees the rest of the lings. He knows.
So he needs 4 more, and that is all he needs to know. Then we're getting full wall going off, and I like this wall from ArT. I feel like this could maybe just end the game. It's just this building.
Yeah, exactly. A gateway wall of all things, mate. The Bailings are not going to be able to bust through. The Bailings, they connect, and they actually do get through. Oh my god, but the Sim City.
The Bailings do bust through, but yeah, that's fantastic SimCity for ArT. It's like this Bailey going to come in, trying to get a good connection on that Adept, but I think he's just going to hold.
Yeah, just not a single Adept falls. Only 3 lings get into the main base, and one of them dies immediately. The link flood is continuing, but especially with the help of this Oracle, there is no way for threepoint to get in.
Yeah, I think this is it. And this goes down to ArT being a very diligent Protoss, Scouting, he saw like from that the pool first, that's off standard, something funky, and scouting it with the probe and seeing those links, and he just... This is the little things like you see these pro players do. Not only did he wall off with the the main wall, but also this little nook and cranny with the shield battery and pylon too. That's very high level.
Oh yeah, he was prepared. He had the first wall, and then he had the second layer of defense as well. GG gets called, and just like that, ArT takes game number 1.
Damn. Yeah, interesting. Every time I see a high level Zerg go for a build like this, I feel like saying I should do this, but I never could get it to work. And then I see something like this, it reminds me why I don't do it. But yeah, I wonder do you think threepoint's gonna switch up maybe his game plan here, because ArT is a very respectable, solid player. Early game, he's very clean. Threepoint's a little chaotic, so I wonder how he's gonna go into game number 2 here on Hardwire.
Yeah. I'm very curious as well, especially because this is my first introduction to threepoint. I've tuned into a couple of his streams before, a couple of his streams before, and you know, we get to see some of his POV there. But here in the tournament, it's kind of different. You know, it's a very different setting, especially because he kind of showed his hand right after an aggressive game like that. ArT, he's going to be on notice.
Yeah, that's right. Threepoint and ZVP. It's a matchup where the meta at the moment, it's kind of, it's getting harder to choose the Protoss, you know, because they've got the shield battery and void rays. I wonder if we could see maybe something again quite unique from our Zerg player. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left position, the boldest player for playing for Genesis Gaming. Clean game one, very clean one. He's up 1-0 in this current semi-final. It is ArT.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing himself and his stream. It is Threepointer. Threepoint?
Yeah. And here we go. Big switch up straight away for that hatch first. It also, like, pull first could have been just a sussing out kind of opener by a 3-point. You could see if your opponent's going to go for a probe block, which we saw last game. ArT Scout did not go for that block, so he's feeling comfortable going hatch first. Meanwhile, we have ArT. He's just nothing extraordinary. The first deviation we want to see is if it's Cyber Core first or Nexus after the gateway. But again, it's just pretty chill, pretty standard so far.
Oh, yeah, nothing really too out of the ordinary so far, which could be crazy in and of itself when we're talking about 3-point. I don't know, how much of a cheesy player he usually is, but I also can't imagine that ArT is too familiar with him. Actually, it's hard to say. Fun fact, I don't know if, you probably don't know this because you thought he was a Russian player for some reason. But
shame.
Last year, ArT, or maybe it was the year before that, actually, the years of blending together, ArT was actually in Korea. ArT went to Korea for his studies, and he took advantage of that. I think he was playing in some GSL qualifiers. He was practicing on the Korean ladder, and he was actually doing very well for himself. So it's very possible that ArT is familiar with 3-point.
It is possible. Yeah, 3-point does ladder a lot. There are a lot of high level, as we said earlier, not tip-top pro level Korean players, but a lot of very good players who inhabit the Korean server and play very much daily to this day. So it is possible that ArT is familiar with 3-point style, especially with the stream as well. Stream going on. Maybe he likes to see a bit of Zerg craziness, but here we see our first kind of deviation, favoring the earlier Nexus instead of the cybernetics core. So his tech's going to be slightly later, but economically he's going to be a little bit more ahead if it was a gate cyber Nexus. So very standard, very kind of probably what we expected from a European Protoss play here. 3-point meanwhile taking 2 drones off gas and just getting a third base, also standard news end.
Yeah, some pretty standard openers, all things considered. It's something that 3-point, he has to try and scout for himself, and he will dip in with his Overlord. He will confirm the Stargate, and he will get all the information he needs. But then it turns into, what happens after that Stargate. Is ArT the kind of player to go into double Stargate Void Ray? Or is he the kind of player to go for a Twilight Council instead?
That is right. We see this Void Ray. Normally you see a Void Ray is going to clean up this Overlord scouting, get a bit of map vision. Expect 3-point, pulling back those Overlords once he has scattered the initial Void Ray. But as you said, it's going to be the follow-up. It looks like it's going to be an Oracle this game. And 3-point, if he's diligent, he will be able to see that.
Exactly. We see that 3-point, he's actually setting up an Overlord here on the left-hand side of the map as well, preparing it for maybe later on diving into the main base to scout. Hopefully it's able to avoid this Void Ray, he actually goes straight into a lair.
Yeah, and I think normally a lair is a sign of something economic, but I think that in this case it could be a bit of aggression we might be able to see, maybe a Hydralisk timing, or maybe even like a Spire as well, but he hasn't thrown out any extra gases so far, so I'm not sure what path he's going to choose to take here.
Exactly. Speaking of paths to take, it looks like ArT has chosen his +1 air attack is on the way, as well as that second Stargate, so he is going to be going into that Sky Toss. At some point, 3-point will want to check. As soon as that lair finishes up, we're going to be seeing an Overseer, and then he can dive in. But at the same time, Oracle actually finds some damage.
that's right. Smart play by ArT here.
Oh,
The Queen's. Oh,
oh.
he might lose the Oracle. Not quite. Good positioning here. And we see this is the kind of the result of having those overlords forced to come back. So his Queen's slightly out of position. Some of the rallying drones did get caught out. Not too many. Only 4 have been taken down. But already you see map control.
What do we see? What do we see, Chase? What do we see?
We see map control's not going to matter in a second.
Let's go. 3-point throws down the Nidus. That is what the lair was for. I was like, yeah, he's going to get an overseer. You know, he's going to go for a scout. He's going to continue from here. But nah, mate, 3-point. He's the kind of player that link busts. He's the kind of player that goes all in. He doesn't know what a late game looks like.
Yeah, the one thing we do have to keep in mind, ArT does have a forge. The thing is, 3-point, yeah, Nidus outside the third base. Kind of expect him to see, like, try and sneak a Nidus into the main here, whereas it's kind of softens on the production where he forces a fight. But this is going to catch ArT right off guard, I believe.
Oh, we'll see. The Nidus does finish up in time. The Void Rays are waiting right outside, but there are plenty of Queens. There's plenty of energy for Transfuse as well. Here we go. I would love to see him spread creep. I would love to see him bring a couple of drones and throw down some spores, mate. Let's go. He doesn't even need it.
That's exactly right, and this is why we saw him only invest in like the one gas, is because he's going for a Ling Queen unit composition, and this third base, a lot of things being taken out. His Void Rays can be forced likely to take up, give up this third base, and it looks like, yeah, 3-point's going back into droning. He's dropped to fourth base.
What a madman. No one expects 3-point to drone up, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to be content here with this third kill. And what's great about this is that he's going to be able to pretty easily come back home. Usually in this position, you're afraid of the Void Ray counterattack. But with the Nidus, like the Queens, it shouldn't take them too long to be able to return home.
Yeah, and this is kind of interesting. The Queen's being isolated from the Nidus here.
Yeah.
And now this is quite awkward, but I feel like if I was in 3-point's position here, yeah, spread creep, that's it. You just want to hold these 2 potential third bases and just macro out of it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we just want to give a bit of a shout out to Oz Protoss in the chat for the 100 bits, 200 bits in total. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support here. Thank you, Oz Protoss.
Oz Protoss, thank you.
Oh boy,
the number one fan in the world.
Yeah, Chase is going to need a lot more than 200 bits if he wants to cuss. Let's be honest, mate.
See my PvP cast lost series, but here we go. Keep in mind, like, there's only 2 shield batteries here. There's cannons as well, but the Baneling's coming. He's going on the Cyber Core.
Oh my god, he busts in. The Lings are putting in as well, and ideally the Lings are going to want to go for a mineral line, but no, he actually backs up.
Yeah, and this is crazy now, but the thing is, there's going to be 3 carriers just about to, 2 of them are about to pop out now, and I think 3-point's fully committing to this attack, and he's not going to stop, like.
Oh, he's not going to stop at all. We thought he was going to drone up, and he kind of did, but he hasn't really teched up either. There's still no Spire. I would love to see a Spire or a Hydrogen Spire, really, ideally, but he still hasn't gone for any of that.
Yeah, no, he's just going Queensland. You've got to keep in mind, the longer these Queens have been alive, the more energy they stack. Still a little gap there. The Banes are going to sneak on through. And it's fortified position. It's going to be taken out very quickly. I'm starting to feel a bit worried for ArT here, like.
Yeah, exactly. The pylons are being taken out. All the side defense is inert here. And there are only a couple of carriers because the Void Rays went for a counterattack.
Yeah, that's right. And on the other side, they are probably going to get this third base here, but, losing a third base, it's a good trade if you're going to win the game. And these carriers, they're kind of isolated here, and then going to lose these interceptors, and then that's never a great place for Protoss. The carriers with no interceptors.
Exactly, but those Void Rays, I feel like they're going to get a lot of damage. Sure, they kill one base, they can keep on going, especially if they focus down the Niduses, and then they manage to strain the Queens out here.
Yeah, if they do get the Nidus. There's a lot of Lings. These carriers are occupied with the Queens, now they're going to be forced back, and I feel like, he's focusing the Nidus now. The Queens aren't going to be coming back in time, are they?
The Nidus! The transfuse! Puppy transfuse! He keeps it alive!
He does. Good work there by 3-point. And meanwhile, there's still there's Banelings running into the main base as well of ArT, and I think that 3-point's done it. I think he's broken him.
He's done it, mate. The potential of this carrier counterattack. Sure, he's going to get the 4th base, which is great, but the 4th base didn't even matter. And what's important is that 3-point is breaking into the main. There are still a lot of carriers, but the amount of minerals that ArT has is finite.
Yeah, so I'd really like to see 3-point just spread creep at this natural here and just go back, not overcommit. because these queens are kind of his lifeline here. Because if the carriers get too many, it can be tricky to kind of deal with here. But he might just have too many queens anyway, and here we see, oh, great Oracle trap on the natural though.
Oh god, yeah, I mean there's a lot of lost mining time here. It looks like he will get the Nidus, so the queens are now stranded. But at the same time, I feel like these queens with transfuse, like, they should be fine, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And ArT has to commit, otherwise these queens just keep getting transfused. The queens already have base 1 armor that negates the +1 attack on the interceptors, and
Yeah.
I think that is a lot of void rays. So like, this is starting to look maybe a little bit scary for 3-point.
I mean, I think threepoint can just kill all the buildings. I don't know if you noticed, but ArT now has no minerals. He cannot rebuild his interceptors. These carriers are dead weight.
Yeah, so all these drones. Oh, good micro by ArT, but I feel like if he brought these void rays back with these 5 carriers, if he had more interceptors, he could have maybe killed off these queens. But at this point, he doesn't have any minerals, as he said, and I think that this could just be it for our non-Russian Poland player. GG is cold.
Oh god, GG, well played. 3-point, he fights back with the Nidus all in. He ties up the series 1-1.
Yeah, that's right. Crazy. To be honest, I didn't expect that. It was a cute idea from 3-point. It was very. I didn't expect it to work because as we said, ArT a solid player, and as I was saying before the game, all-ins don't really work too well against Protoss these days as they used to. But he just found a way. He had a good timing. Banelings was a really good choice too. One we probably didn't look at as much as probably we should, but just very, well played. And it's a, it's a chink under the European macro base of ArT. So
yeah, very, very impressive result here by 3-point. I 100% agree. I think ArT probably agrees as well. He probably also underestimated the power of those banelings. And it was a little bit unfortunate that he didn't have those full walls off. Like, we saw, like, 2 separate waves of Ling Bane slip in, and unfortunately there at the natural, the wall wasn't a wall, and the banelings were able to connect with those precious pylons that were powering everything, and the stack defense that was there just crumbled as a result. So very well executed there by 3-point, and maybe ArT underestimating his opponent a little bit.
That's right. Moving into game number 3 here on Blackburn. I believe this is a best of 3. Correct me, Light. Yeah. Awesome. So ace match time. But yeah, spawning in the bottom left position of Blackburn LE, all the way from Poland, not Russia. Wikipedia's wrong. I'm right. Can he take home the bacon? It is playing for Genesis Gaming ArT.
Wikipedia is not wrong. There are different capitalizations depending on the different art that you're looking at, by the way.
Right, are you my co-caster or are you Liquipedia's co-caster? Unbelievable.
Oh god, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing the NBA. It is 3-points.
I love the 2 R's in his name. It reminds me of when Boxer said hi Greg to Greg. To enjoy. That was unique. But yeah, now Light, not to, I know you said you wanted to grab some water. I don't want to make you regret that decision, but we've got quite an easy map to split here in this matchup, don't we? This could be a long one.
We do, and typically I would be afraid, I would be concerned, I'd be terrified at the thoughts of 40-minute ZVP. But I know that 3-point's got my back. I know he's.
I was just thinking 3-point.
3-point. 3-point, he's going to do whatever he can to make sure the game does not go on that long.
Yeah, that's right. There are some, there's various kind of off-meta, I guess to say, off-meta strategies at 3-point you could go for here. There is that triangle third, maybe. It's quite hard to queen walk on this map because the narrow ramp is so tight, but we have seen, as we saw Oreo do, you can just queen walk to kill a third base. There's 2 gold bases, 6 mineral patches. It's not 8 like the Pride of Alteris, but still pretty poggers.
Mate, say no more. I know exactly where you're going with this. There's a player out there, and I think you know him. He's called Chase. And one game, he actually took the gold, but on the other side, and his opponent's gold as well, the other side of the mineral patch. So, you know, are you suggesting that he may be going for that?
That's like the worst strategy I've ever heard. Like, I don't want you to utter the name of that player ever again on your lips. But, here you go. But yeah, this drone looks like it does want to be taking this third. Do you reckon? Yeah, he's vibing. He's moving. He is securing.
There we go. The goal base is taken, unfortunately, on 3point's own side of the map. So he's not, you know, he's decided not to go for that Aussie move. Famous Aussie move, I should say. Meanwhile, on the outside of the map, ArT once again is opening up pretty standard. This time, just like game number 2, sorry, he is going for that Void Ray first.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, like, but a lot of times when I see Zerg take the gold base, I feel like they just get punished kind of hard for it. You see, yeah, this is depth already. It's already setting up to get ready. I'd like to see how 3point manages to negate that. Overlord does scout the Void Ray into Oracle, by the way, but you know, Link Speed's good, but the Void Rays can even sit behind this mineral line and do some damage. So interested to see a player who we probably know probably does this quite often, to see how he copes with it.
I mean, he's already off at a terrible start. I don't know if you noticed, but that first adept actually denied the initial creep tumor here outside the natural base. So like, we know how important it is to connect these bases, and 3point knows that as well, and ArT already throwing a spanner in the works.
I bet Liquipedia would have noticed that tumor daylight.
Yeah, but not Chase.
I'm having a grudge.
What's going on?
Anyway, this is the struggle, right? These queens, man, that's a huge drone transfer, but yeah, we're just gonna go on here. Third base taken by ArT as well, knowing that 3point's gonna be so kind of distracted with just holding his own gold base. There's no pressure at all on himself, so good move.
Yeah. I mean, at least he does get it saturated and up and running. Meanwhile, ArT, he is switching gears entirely. You know, game 2, he tried to go double Stargate Void Ray. He was punished for it. This game, he is going for, oh my god, Glaive Adepts, but also still working on +1 air attack.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Oh, no, he cancelled it. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, did cancel it. Okay. It's just like a reflex, you know. Whenever you build a Stargate, you get that upgrade. But yeah, I wonder what he's going to plan to do here. He should have enough for a gateway explosion pretty soon. Might add some extra gateways. He's got a robo coming, actually. Or if he's just going to go for the typical, you know, bread and butter, just 4-gate adept with this Warp Prism.
I mean, he's already going across the map, boy. Like, let's go. The adepts do get scouted by a spotter Ling by 3point, but, like, he doesn't have a wall set up. He's trying desperately to set up a wall here at the natural base. What about the gold?
Yeah, that's right, and these roaches are so far away. You know, one adept's bad enough, but when there's so many like this, this drone's going down already. And the thing is, the Warp Prism makes this so difficult to engage, like, because it can just bounce the adepts over, you know, each side of the mineral patches.
Yeah, exactly. Also, those adepts actually took down the spore that was here at the third base as well. So if ArT is able to distract all these queens enough with these adepts, then the Void Ray can just rock on up. Could even try and take out the base.
Yeah, that's right. And this is why I feel like taking the gold base on this map. It's high risk, medium reward. You know, because these drones aren't mining at all. Really, he's going to take the 4th base now, but there's so much damage being done, and we got a Dark Shrine coming up behind this.
Oh my god, let's go. And this is why ideally you want to be taking a gold base on the outside of that mineral line, right? so you can defend it a little bit better, and you're in position against these adepts. But unfortunately, you know, 3point, he hasn't tuned into ANZ champs. You know, maybe we'll have to link into the VOD later on. But
you know what the play is like? You mine out all the minerals, and then you got more surface area to move between both sides of the non-existent mineral wall.
True. Meanwhile, the adepts, they're shading into the natural base, and there's nothing here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're gonna come in. These roaches side, even a couple of adepts coming to the gold, but they will be cleaned up. But ArT, he's abusing the mobility here, and roaches are not the fastest unit to defend a depths.
Yeah, abusing is the correct word to use right here. Chase, as the attempts are going back and forth between the bases, drones are falling left and right. And as all this is happening, mate ArT has already been working on a transition. What's important is that this wasn't even Glaive Adepts with a Warp Prism. This was just Adepts waddling across the map. Back at home, we already have Blink about to finish.
Yeah, that's right. And he's being very aggressive with these adepts, and he's even sending a couple more adepts up to the gold base as well. And if we look at the workers lost, 26 workers. Even when you have a gold base, that's a lot of workers dead, you know.
26 is a big number, mate, but you know what? I feel like threepoint, he has had enough of all of this. He's going across the map, he's waddling his queens through those slow zones. The roaches are not too far behind them either. +1 range is about to finish up by the time the army gets across the map, so threepoint, he is pretty much all in.
Yeah, I really like this move here by threepoint. Even though he took a lot of economic damage, ArT actually sacked pretty much all of those adepts, so he lost them all, and he's gonna poke in. Probably want to make some ravages when he pushes in here. Yeah, a really good move here. But you see the gold base it's completely abandoned now, and he's gonna have to get something done here. Like, he's gonna have to kill that third base.
Exactly, he needs to get so much done. Ravagers are finally being morphed in, but look at how many sentries there are. My god, eventually we're gonna be seeing some disruptors coming out. There we go, the first disruptor is on the way, but it's not ready yet. Let's go.
Here we go. It's a lot of units. Good force fields coming down, but threepoint. Yeah, there's 2 immortals here. There's a lot of shield batteries in the cannon though, and I feel like if he gets on top light, he could do a lot of damage, but he's not really biling the shield batteries here. He's just hoping for the best on the army.
Yeah, he just can't get close enough to those shield batteries. The force fields are doing such a good job at zoning him away, and just like that, ArT, he's just trading so well here. Overcharge was probably a little bit prematurely, but here comes it over.
Yeah, it's a great concave, but the roaches have less range than the stalkers. I just don't know. He's trading out, but these immortals, they've got like 16 kills in between them. It's wild. It's insane, but I think he's going to be able to hold on here.
Yeah, they've got 16 kills and some. They're getting even more. Another Nova goes off. They got a second Nova's going to go off as well. It was a great move for threepoint to try and go for a counterattack, but it was just not going to be enough. The damage that he sustained was too much, and ArT was ready for this.
GG is cold, and ArT's going to take the series 2-1. Damn, another fun series. Good series to watch. I enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy the last Zerg getting knocked out, so that's a little sad. But well played to ArT though. Take nothing from him.
Exactly. I'm just happy to see threepoint able to perform against ArT, and taking a game off of him isn't an easy feat at all. I'm very impressed that he was able to take it all the way to the 8th match.
Yeah, that's right. And it was a good move. Good move, things considered, for threepoint to go for that attack. But when you see some players, I guess like me and Micah, for example, if you see him take a gold base, and you know your opponent's going to harass or do something like based around that gold base, he just does something crazy. He just goes for like an attack straight up. Like in that case, it was kind of threepoint went for the gold base. It didn't work out well for him, and then he fought from behind. So decent ideas, but the execution, it was what I tell you. Like I just never see Zergs unless they're taking the initiative and just making something like the gold base irrelevant. They just lose a lot of drones at that gold.
Yeah. Like as soon as he took it, we're like, can he hold on to it? Maybe. And it's like, no. No, mate.
Meanwhile,
feels bad.
PvP is back on the menu.